Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third module where we're focusing in on social construction, diversity, and inclusion. So, to start off, I want to contextualize this paradigm as well as the critical theories we'll look at for Module 4 within a larger movement called postmodernism that began roughly towards the end of World War II. And it questioned a lot of the fundamental assumptions and beliefs of the Enlightenment, or what we call modernism. So, both social construction and critical theories, these two paradigms, can be viewed as part of this overarching movement that was critiquing positivism and beginning to innovate some new paradigms. So, for social construction, there's a huge change in our view of reality. Social construction believes that what we know is part and parcel of who we are and the language that we use to talk about it. So there is no external truth that is independent of us. And it's important to use the word we here because social construction really talks about the ways that communities come to construct, to define, to understand the experiences that we are having. So we are the ones who bring meaning to objects or events and relationships. It's through our use of language. And because of that, there are multiple realities that exist, not a universe, but a multiverse. So here's a quote to try and convey that by Merleau-Ponty. What then does language express if it does not express thoughts? It presents, or rather it is, the subject's taking up of a position in the world of one's meanings. So here we see that it's impossible to separate out what we're observing, the language we use, the interpretations, the meaning, the sense we make of it, the construction of then what we think reality is, what the truths are that we hold, and they are inextricably linked to who all of us are as specific people or groups, and in a particular place and time within a context. All of those are inherent in social construction. So, how do we come to know or understand our world? We do that still using data collected with our senses, observation, interviewing, self-report. And researchers are, as I said, inherent in what we're researching. Therefore, qualitative methods are the primary methods. Bias is viewed as a given, that we are not able to ever be objective or neutral. So therefore, what we want to do is to identify the social position or the standpoint in which we are existing, including ourselves, what's relevant about that in the context we exist when engaging in the research. And we will also intentionally be including research participants in a much more deliberative and participatory kind of way. So, in terms of how social construction looks at values and ethics, values are also inherent in our research designs. So, we want to intentionally notice and name what we are valuing as we are putting together a study. Social construction research often seeks to give voice to those who have not had a voice within dominant discourse, people who have been invisible or excluded, targeted, marginalized. And the rather than validity and reliability, we instead think about legitimacy or what makes certain research findings credible or trustworthy. And part of that is by asking participants for their feedback on how well we have captured what they have shared, as well as using a community of researchers in a particular place and time. So some of the strengths of social construction is that we can ask research questions that social workers think and care about, that incorporate our values, that incorporate the meaning that people are making of their experiences, and we can also address abstract concepts. We can give voice to multiple realities that are occurring simultaneously, and we can therefore provide the possibility, since truths are constructed, to revise the current discourses that we're using, that to do it in ways that might be more consistent with our values or how we view human beings as having this potential, this capacity for a greater sense of growth and change. Some of the limitations are that working with multiple realities can be quite hard. So who gets to decide which reality or realities we are going to view as legitimate? This also can take a little bit more time than what we often are encouraged to take at this point in time in our history. And many forms of social construction do not believe in what they call brute facts, in objects or realities that are independent of the observer. So since our profession has needed to demonstrate credibility to other institutions, to other stakeholders in order to do our work, that can also be challenging when we might be presenting this paradigm to those who are operating out of a positivist paradigm where they do believe in an external reality and are looking for data to support that. It can also be hard to do large-scale studies because of the use of qualitative methods. So, how to read for this module. If these ideas are stirring you up, you might want to start with the quick YouTube video. It's only a couple minutes long. And then I think it would be helpful to start with Witkin. Witkin might feel a little bit dry. I've honed in on some particular pages. If you want to start with a personal story, then look at the Hall reading because he talks out of his own experience growing up as a child, feeling very objectified as being part of a study. And then Patricia Hill Collins helps us understand social construction through the lens of Black feminism. Then when you move on to the readings about diversity and inclusion, please select two to read or look at the TED Talk and one additional article. Happy reading!